each other side is making the most noise, just so we just do. Cheers.
It's a bit daft having a studio here, isn't it? The walls are paper thin, aren't they?
Well, this is not an ideal situation.
Well, this is my house.
Okay, yeah.
Try and wait on speed if Rose isn't going to come back.
Well, keep your style.
Okay.
Okay, Mark, thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
Your new album, listen to it. What is the title explaining the light user syndrome?
I got it off British Telecom.
So it refers to people who don't use their phone very much.
No, it's like about bump mail, really. And rubbish you get through the door.
Why would you kind of associate your album with bump mail and rubbish that you get through the door?
Well, I was trying to make the LPs like a bit topical because we do a lot of LPs, so we try and bring out like 2 a year. So.
It's quite self-deprecating though, really, to compare your albums to junk mail.
No, I just like to make them topical, you know.
Right, okay. I haven't listened to The Fall for about 10 years, so the last album I had was Ben Sinister, which...
How old are you, 34?
No, 26.
Uh,
I was quite young at the time. And, it's a really full album. You haven't changed your style that much.
you reckon?
Well, in 10 years I've missed out a lot, but I can see that you definitely do have a very distinct style. Your fans won't be disappointed. Is that why do you think it still sounds like you?
Couldn't tell you, no. How do you mean?
Well, you've kind of set yourself up for this particular sound, and you've never really kind of...
Yeah, I just thought it was a bit lazy, that, I think. Lazy journalism. What I tried to do with this LP is like get the 3 women in the group forward a bit more, and I got the second drummer singing a bit more. I wanted to get it a bit so I don't have to do as much really. So it's not just me ranting at the front.
Is that what you think you do?
Because it's got 3 or 4 singers, you know, there, so I was trying to bring them up.
Yeah,
Whether it works or not, I don't know. You know. If you listen to it, you'll find that. You know.
No, I think it does work.
I only do lead vocals in about 3/4 of it. Like, you know.
So, Brix is back in the band after a 5-year break, and she's very strong in the mix there. Her style is just, you can't really...
Oh, she makes sure of that, yeah.
So how did it feel for that 5 years when she wasn't part of the band?
She's great, she's really good. I think she's the best guitar player I've ever heard, actually. Personal considerations apart, you know, she's great. So a lot of people in America don't take us very seriously, you know.
Why do you think that?
Well, she doesn't dress like a scruff, you know, like you've got to be, in America if you want to be heavy rock, you've got to be like Sonic Youth and all that, you know, sort of drone away on the guitar. You don't like her because she's a bit of a valley girl and all that, you know. But Fall fans like her, so that's the main thing.
I mean, I don't know if you really realise how much of an influence you've had on a lot of bands. Like, I know what Fall sounds like. I listen to people like the Pixies or the Breeders, and they've almost stolen your style.
Stolen, yeah, but Versus, yeah. Took me teaser.
Yeah,
Cheers to it.
thanks.
He's great to him, isn't
Top lad. Great help.
So,
he? Sorry, go on.
do you find that a compliment?
Nah, not really. No.
Or how do you feel about it after you've been plugging away and someone else kind of comes out from a different perspective, almost kind of...
I don't know, I'm just very suspicious of people who haven't got their own ideas, you know, who's open.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to, I don't know if you listen to any dance music or anything like that, but there's
Very much, yeah.
There's a band called Underworld.
Yeah.
And the vocalist.
What I like about the dance groups is that they actually acknowledge the influence. What I don't like about these other groups is they never acknowledge it. They always say we were influenced by Scott Walker and all this crap. You know, they got the like drum patterns that I wrote, you know, on the records. Whereas dance bands actually come out and say it, which I think is good.
I mean, with Underworld, his kind of the singer Carl Hyde, the way he delivers his vocals, and it's all quite kind of distorted. And
That's right. Oh yeah, right. I know. Yeah, that's right. It is. But I don't mind that. What I don't like is theft, you know.
Okay. So your singing style, it's almost like talking. Is it? Did you ever try to sing, or is it just the way? That's the way you deliver your message.
I can sing if I want. Yeah. I think I just got a strong voice over like 10, 12 years. It's got a lot stronger.
Yeah, it's very distinct.
Well, a lot of the time I shout a lot of the time because just to get the band worked up.
So you're almost like a kind of band leader or MC.
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right then. Your lyrics. It's difficult because the band is so noisy. I would really like you to print your lyrics on your album sleeve to actually kind of just see what you are saying exactly. You get like nuances of what you're saying and ideas float into your head from what I can hear. But are they really kind of spontaneous? How do you go about writing your lyrics? Do you make them up as you go along, or are they really...
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. I think it's, but sometimes it's good to go off the wall, you know. A lot of it with that LP, I'll tell you the God's honest truth here. A lot of it was half of those vocals on that LP are just guide vocals. And I took a day off from the studio and I came back and they mixed the bugger. You know. But on retrospect, it sounds good. If I'd have gone back in and sort of smoothed them out, I don't think it would have been good.
So where do you, when you sit down to write your stuff, I wouldn't really ask you what your inspiration is. I kind of want to ask you from where do you get your reactions from?
Yeah, well, my problem is just keeping stuff out of the songs. You know, I think one thing with the Fall like 5-10 years ago was put too many words in it. It's different. People have changed a lot, I think.
Yeah,
you know, it's just I'm trying to get back a bit. It's like when I'm trying to bring the three girls in, and other members of the band. They don't like it, but you know, you try and force them to the front. So you've almost got a type of sort of family show going there. You know,
is that
you know, I don't think people just want to. You know, I don't want to be like everything else at the moment. You know, just me sort of shouting on about my viewpoints. So what I'm saying is, I deliberately sort of edit myself.
Is that a change in your? You know,
Yeah,
this kind
for
of,
sure.
you know, I don't really
Yeah.
know how to scream something.
Yeah, I mean, well, I can do it. I like doing it, but I think people's, you know, our fans are getting younger and younger. That's what I like about it. And we're getting rid of a lot of the old fans, you know, in the mid-30s, which is good, I think.
I was going to ask you about that. But
So I just, you know, I can just walk off stage now and like they all go crackers about it, you know, the old fans, but the young fans love it, you know, because you can only hear so much, can't you? Nowadays, I think.
I was going to ask you about where you think your fans. Do you think your fans are growing up, even older with you, or are you?
Well, we got rid of them, thank God, you know, so it's good. Getting rid of them.
Don't you find that you're not relating to your own peers?
Age group, yeah. No, I think it's good. Because, you know, I mean, it's like a lot of fans, you know, I mean, if you take any notice, I never take any notice of them anyway, what they think, you know, so.
So I think
But, you know, if they had their way, I'd just be doing, like, Totally Wired all the time, you know, I'd just be doing songs from 1983 over and over again, you know. Never really followed that course. That's why I have to get rid of a lot of musicians, you know, because musicians are very, they just want to do all the hits all the bloody time, you know, they've always been like that. Because I'm not a musician, you see.
I think it must be quite hard for someone who has a vision and a way that they want to go musically, but then their fans kind of lose sight of that vision and don't follow the vision through, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then you do have to start relating to younger people because the stuff you're doing.
Well, it's not particularly ageist, you know what I mean? Our fans come from all over the place. That was the whole idea of the Fall. The Fall wasn't like it never set out to be a student group or anything. In fact, students don't like us, you know. I mean, I'm quite pleased about that, really.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because they listen to music for 2 or 3 years, don't they? Then they go and become accountants, don't they?
Yeah, possibly.
Most of our fans are like shop workers and bus conductors and that, and all really dotty old fellas. So.
So, I want to ask you kind of about politics, but I don't really know what to ask you about politics because I don't think you've ever actually.
Well, have you ever done an interview before?
Sorry?
You've done interviews before?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, right.
I mean,
Was the last person you did?
Eddie Reader, Scottish girl,
Who's she?
red-headed, fairground attraction. She's now a solo artist. No? Okay. I interviewed Terry Hall once and he freaked the life out of me. You know.
He's a bit sinister, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. He just didn't really say very much. But I don't think you... Have you kind of ever aligned yourself to anything political, like a movement or anything? Or you've always seemed to stood on your own, saying your own thing about your own background. You haven't kind of done a thing like the Paul Weller Red Wedge or Billy Floyd.
No.
Why? How come? You're just happy to say what you think and that's it?
No, I mean, I used to work on the docks, you know, when I was like 15, 16, and I became rapidly disillusioned with the Labour Party, you know, very quickly.
So do you have any stands politically? Or?
Not particularly, no. Well, do you?
No? I just kind of thought that with the things you write about,
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying, sorry.
I'm trying to just kind of get where you stand, and I kind of realised that you are more of an independent.
Well, when I started the group, I was extremely communist, you know, extremely. I mean, you know, to the point where you know you think Paul Weller's like a fascist, you know. I mean, that's the way I was brought up, you know. So
Yeah,
I still am a bit of a communist, you know. I think.
I just kind of, if you look at who's come up alongside you, you know, the Paul
Yeah, well,
Wilsons
they always drop it very quickly. I've noticed as well when it becomes unfashionable. Paul Weller drops it very quickly in the 80s when Thatcher was in it, and now he's adopting it again. You know, it's like always very suspicious of that.
But someone like Weller, his fans have been able to grow almost with
Yeah,
him.
but all his fans are like kids from the Shires, aren't they? You know, it's not to knock it. I like to think I don't like this sort of confusion with music. I mean, I like Elvis Presley. I mean, you know, I used to like Elvis Presley, but you know, I don't agree with his politics. I don't see what it's got to do with anything really. When you can like, you can watch a film with John Wayne in it and like it. You know, it doesn't. You don't have to dislike it because. I think that's a danger when everybody agrees with the political viewpoints of the group. I think that's really sinister to me.
Yeah.
You not agree?
Yeah, I do, definitely.
It's like status quo, you know, everybody's got to wear the same clothes.
Because I only asked you this.
It's a lot in the name, you know. Status quo.
Yeah.
God damn, man. Sorry, go on.
So you've made a prolific amount of LPs.
Right.
Are you a workaholic or
Yeah, a bit too much, yeah.
how have you managed to maintain the pace when others have fallen by the wayside? And
I don't have any problem at all. My problem is not doing enough.
really?
Yeah, it's like knowing what not to do.
Because we've been together 20 years, almost 20 years now. I mean,
Yeah.
does that kind of freak you out a bit?
No.
And do you think?
It's only unusual in rock terms, I think. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like James Last, for instance. He used to bring an LP out every week, didn't he? But the problem I have with record companies is they don't let me do like 2 LPs a year. The whole idea of rock bands is that you take 2 years over 1 LP, which I think is a waste of time. So you got a lot of like musos hanging around doing nothing, and by the time the marketing has decided it all and everything, the group's sick of playing the songs, which is why you got this revivalism. You know, it's a lot easier for the record companies to do it that way. They're not really interested in new products really coming out. That's why dance is good, because, well, it was, and I think it's going down the drain a bit, but you know, somebody records a tune and it's out 4 weeks later. I think that's really good.
So would you prefer, I mean, I know that you've always avoided the major labels, you've always stuck with...
No, we've been on major labels. Yeah.
But generally they've been the smaller departments of those major labels.
No, we just go through a lot of labels.
I mean, are you happier to maybe keep the costs down?
No, I don't keep the costs down. We're quite expensive
Well,
to run.
I mean, let me explain. Is be more prolific, release things quite regularly, not have
Yeah,
huge
yeah,
expenses,
and
production
yeah.
costs.
When financially it would have been better for me. I got to the point at one record company where they're actually paying us not to release an LP.
That's outrageous.
It's cheaper to pay you a load of money than, you know, do all the marketing and all that stuff.
Would you
It's like a microcosm of British industry, isn't it? You know, it's true, isn't it? They'd rather show reruns of BBC programmes on Sky than they would rather, you know, can't be bothered putting the effort in just to make a new programme, can they?
But I mean, on that sort of scale, would you prefer to not have massive global success, even though you are very successful all over the world, but in little pockets, rather than have massive success, sell out albums all the time?
Yeah, I'd be a lot richer. I'd be a lot richer if I just brought an LP out every 2 years. Yeah. And just, well, the thing I always get is go solo and get rid of. Keep sort of expanding the group. You know, it's like you know, having 6 or 7 people is not cost effective. You know. Go solo, but I don't want to do it. You know. I'm sure you come across this stuff in your business.
Mm. Yeah. Jump ship. Do you still live in Manchester?
Yeah.
Where do you live in Manchester?
Salford.
Still in Salford.
At the moment, yeah.
And obviously you got a track on the album called Cheatham Hill. I was at Manchester University, by the way. So
Oh, was you? Oh, right. Where do you live? Wally Range?
no, I stuck to safe old Fallowfield and then
Oh, it's nice, right?
Longsight for a bit.
Ooh, Longsight.
I was just about to leave at that point, but
How long were you there? 3 years?
3 years to my degree and then 8 months just kind of fucking about.
Do you like it?
Yeah, big time. I mean, I'm from London and I found after 3 years, 3.5 years, I kind of needed a bit more happening. I found Manchester a bit small, I think. Because
Yeah, it's a big village, really.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot of crap tops about it, I think.
But do you find there's still enough there to keep you?
No, that's why I like it. You know, keep out of it, and that's good.
Yeah. So,
I lived in Edinburgh for quite a bit, about 2 years. That was terrible. I never got any work done. You know, there's so much to do, and you know, to go back to the humdrum.
so Cheatham Hill, what's that track about?
Cheatham Hill.
But for people who don't necessarily know Manchester.
Well, it's the drummer wrote that song actually, which he keeps telling everybody. You know, I'm sick of hearing about it. So, it's just about, you get a lot of cruisers, you know, with the brothel area. It's like just right next to me. It's in between where I live and the city. It's sort of very rough place.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of cruisers. That's what it's about. You know, rich blokes in cars. So. Cruising, yeah, correct. Yeah. Trying to get away from the wife and all that.
Okay. You've got this, you know, John Peel from the Fall. He's kind of your arch defender, really. He's been there.
Right.
Since. How did you first come? Yeah, John Peel from The Fall. He's kind of your arch defender, really. He's been there.
Right.
How did you first kind of meet him? Did you send him a demo or something? Or
No.
so how did he start playing the records?
I've only spoke to him twice in my life.
Really?
Yeah, nobody believes me.
And he's written you sleep notes for you.
That wasn't my idea, that was the record company.
So have you ever listened to his radio show now?
Now and again, yeah. But there's just a misconception that we're big pals, you know. Met him about twice.
He's still,
I think he's got that thing, I don't, you know, it's always bad to meet people you like, isn't it? I've always been disappointed, haven't
so who have you met that you've been disappointed?
I? New York Dolls.
Ages ago.
No, not been disappointed, no.
So if I can just take you back to kind of, you know, you started like 17.
Met Link Ray, he was great, he was better than I thought.
Who?
Link Ray, the old 50s guitarist, instrumentalist. He was better than I thought.
What do you think about kind of a band like the Sex Pistols reforming?
I don't know. Why? Do you know why they're doing it? Have you read up on it?
Money?
Do you think so?
Well,
I don't think so. I don't think that's the point.
I keep telling you it's for money though.
I don't think so. You know what it is? I think it's like old fellas who are in the mid-30s crisis. And they need that hit. I have this problem with the group. You know, if they're not going on stage every 2 or 3 months, it's nothing to do with money. You know, it's like that hit of going on stage and people looking at you and all that.
So
So whatever they say, I don't believe them.
they've lived it quite a long time for that.
Yeah, I mean, they've got enough money on them, haven't they? Like Paul McCartney. I mean, I always puzzled me why Paul McCartney carries on. If I had Paul McCartney's money, I wouldn't. If I had Paul McCartney's money, I wouldn't even go out the house. Would you? It's just it's ego all over it. It's not why I'm doing it. You know, I'm just doing it. I think I've got something to say, and I can't quite get to the bottom of it, musically and sort of lyric wise.
So if you know, we had the Buzzcocks in recently.
Oh God.
They're back doing stuff now.
No, that's sad, isn't it?
You know, all these bands came up with you in the beginning, and I wonder what it is about Marquis Smith and the Four that has managed to keep going throughout with a prolific amount of albums. And now everyone else is coming back going, oh, Britpop, yeah, let's take our 10p's worth, if you know what I mean.
I've got various theories on this. I think a lot of it is that the media is controlled by blokes in the late 30s who want to relive their childhood, you know, through the Buzzcocks and the Jam and that. The Fall have nothing to do. The Fall have never been anything to do with anything, any trend.
Yeah, I can't believe you with that. And I've listened to your music 10 years ago, and I listen to it now.
Yeah, you've got to keep arm's length, I think.
Yeah.
So what were they like? Pete's nice, isn't he?
Yeah. I didn't interview them, but I saw the rushes and.
Pete should have stayed solo, I think.
I quite like some of Pete Jones first.
Well, the Buzzcocks paid for our first record, yeah. We were all about 18.
So I thought I'd compare them to you, because they've kind of taken the long way round and given it up and come back, and you've always been in there all the way through.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's all this, you know, it's very funny, it's very British, you know, I mean, it's not like that the rest of the world, you know, people aren't really interested in the Buzzcocks reforming in Japan or anything, really, no matter what they say. It's somewhat peculiarly sort of English, it's like a nostalgia. I think it's because the media's controlled by blokes who, when they, I get it all the time, every interview I do, it's like you said, you know, like, last time I listened to you was 10 years ago, you know, it's like, you know, you don't understand, it's like soccer, isn't it? all these like middle class kids getting into soccer all of a sudden. You know what I mean? They just like to relive the childhoods again, don't they? So, I mean, you know, 10 years ago, if you just said to anybody who's hip on the Manchester scene, you know, are you going down to the city game? They've got to go, no, soccer's for thugs and all this. You know, now they're all going, you know, they're all down there. You can't get tickets. Yeah, yeah. It is.
What do you think of them?
Alright. The music doesn't do anything for me really, but nice people, which makes a difference in groups. They're not bitchy or anything, you know.
It's quite nice to hear from someone who's probably met them firsthand, and rather than all this press media fucking shite you hear.
I think they're a bit open. I think they should shut their mouths something a bit. I think.
So you're doing a couple of songs today.
Yeah.
What are you performing live?
Well, we're going to do a powder keg, which, funnily enough, is about my sister being in the IRA bombing in 1992. It's just really weird, that.
Quite relevant.
It is a bit, isn't it? So, I think we'll do that, and we'll do an old song. The producer said he wanted an old song as well, so we've got to do The Mixer, which is like from about 92 as well.
So you've already released the Chiswiz. So what do you think the next release of the album will be?
Sorry?
The next release of this one?
Well, I've got Peter Waterman to remix 2 tracks actually, and they sound pretty good. So.
Pete Waterman?
Yeah, I did a single with Dose, which is Pete Waterman's new project. It's pretty good. But they remixed 2 tracks of the LP, so we've got enough money to pay them for the mixes. We'll probably no, they're good kids, you know. They're about 18, 19, you know. They're nice. They always ask me things like, somebody from the Smiths came in the studio, are they related to you? It's great, isn't it? Who are the Smiths, Mark? You know all about these guitar groups.
Right, let me see what I've missed out here. This LP is really strong. It's really, I wouldn't have thought it was my cup of tea, to be honest.
Yeah,
really.
for sure.
I listened to it, and it's 10 years later that I've been listening to your other stuff. And how come you haven't slowed down, Mark? How come you haven't kind of mellowed out like a lot of people of your kind of generation or age maybe have?
Bloody old.
I know, I don't mean it. I don't mean it like that. But you know, people tend to start off really up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
and then it calms
Most
down.
men are dead when they're around 24,
The
aren't they?
angry
Really?
young man goes, and why is it still there for you?
It's just that. It's just the main thing. I'm into it. I mean, and 99% of what I do isn't involved with that, but it's just to keep writing, you know. And it's like, and I don't want to write books, and I don't want to write poetry, so do it through that.
Would you never consider writing
No.
poems, like your lyrics on the? You've written a play, haven't you?
Yeah. I don't like that world actually. I didn't like the theatre world at all, or the ballet or anything. I think that rock and roll's horrible, you know. Get into that scene, it's terrible. And book publishers, good God. Good thing about rock music is, you know, I think that's why it's abused a lot. Sorry, I'm boring everybody. No, I think it's abused a lot because it is a quick avenue, you know, you can say what you want really.
Short, sharp, sharp.
Yeah, you don't have to go and creep to some guy in a suit, really, if you do it properly.
Okay. Finished.
Good. Thank you very much.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's great.